a huge sense of responsibility, a huge sense of privilege as well. It's a real, I don't take it lightly. There's a real privilege to be in command at an event. It'd be really remiss of me not to kind of think of the what ifs.
And one of the things I would say from my experience of policing across the UK is that Welsh officers and Welsh staff are great at speaking to people, and the Welsh public are great at speaking to us. And it's one of the things that I enjoy most about policing in Wales, if I'm honest. My name is Mark Travis. I'm the Deputy Chief Constable for South Wales Police, and one of the roles that I have is as a Strategic Public Order and Public Safety Commander, which means I have a significant role in managing events across the force.
I'm Emma Fox. I'm a temporary superintendent, and my day-to-day role is Head of Custody Services.
Cardiff's a capital city, so we have many events and attractions that draw lots of people. And for the Principality Stadium, it can attract people in numbers of anywhere between 60 and 80,000 people. And on a busy day, that can mean 250,000 people in Cardiff who all want to come and enjoy the city and enjoy the nighttime economy.
We talk about public order, but we're now moving towards public safety. So, in fact, it's a public order, public safety command role. So when we assess events that have a lot of people that will attend, there's obviously a public safety element, so it's deemed necessary then to attach that command structure.
So it brings extra demand, and as a capital city, there are responsibilities that we have to make sure that policing that is safe. We have to make sure that people who come to Cardiff see it for what it is, which is a great and safe place to be. So we bring extra resources on for example, the international rugby or for a large-scale football match.
As our events increase during the summer period, that does put more demand on us as commanders. And so I've been allocated 3 of the big concerts in the Principality this summer. So yeah, it does put some additional demand on top of my day job. So the planning's been going on for a couple of months. So it starts off quite small, meeting with a planner. So we'd have an officer allocated to the event who is responsible for the overall planning of the event, so in terms of resources, logistics, led by myself, and then that will then develop into meeting with partners, so the council, the local authority, the Principality, stadium, security, to obviously understand from their perspective what they want to achieve, because obviously the event belongs to the stadium. The local authority play a huge part in the event as well, in terms of the city centre, the road closures, etc. So yeah, they kind of develop over time, but it's a long process.
People will see officers who carry firearms, and they'll see officers on horseback and officers with dogs, and people are quite used to seeing that. But behind the scenes, we have people who look after intelligence, safeguarding, people who manage our drones, our aircraft, and all of these resources come together to create a really safe event. And a lot of that is built on the learning from previous events where things have not gone to plan. We work really, really hard with our partners to make sure that in the event of an emergency we can respond effectively to keep the public safe.
There is an element of potentially there's a one-size-fits-all, but however we have to take into consideration what is taking place. The Principality hosts things from, the rugby, which is obviously what's traditionally linked to. Well, that would look extremely different to a music event. Public safety is our overarching aim, so yes, our response is very much similar, but we have to take into account the demographic of the people that will be attending, the vulnerabilities that will come with those attending, and also, music events, rugby, you're talking about people enjoying themselves, alcohol consumption. So there's many factors that we have to take into consideration. People travel, a significant distance to come into Cardiff to watch events. So we're not just talking of people being able to jump in a taxi to get home.
So how do we keep people moving freely? How do we make sure they enjoy the event, and how do we keep people safe? That's our main priority. I think firstly it's really important to recognise the people that live in and around these events, because it does create disruption. We work very hard to keep that to a minimum. The support we get from local authority helps to minimise impacts on traffic, queuing and noise, so it's important we acknowledge that. I think the people who come to the events, that they see visible, engaging members of staff, both from British Transport Police, local authority, ourselves, the fire and ambulance service, and I think they appreciate the fact that we enable events to take place in a way that's safe. We also need to give huge credit to the event organisers who do a great job, and the skill and experience of venues like the Principality Stadium, for example, who deliver their responsibilities really well and effectively, means that people can come here and enjoy an event at such a large scale.
Whilst people may think, why are the police here? I think in general, and from my experience, they like to see the police. People feel reassured by our presence. We've got people coming from all over the world, in essence, and they see a police officer, that's the person they're going to go to for help and advice. And simple as directing somebody to a bar, a club, a restaurant.
You'll see capabilities like facial recognition. That's to make sure that people who come to the venue come with the right motives. That's why we have firearms officers at our events. It's not because we anticipate a threat. It's about giving the public reassurance. We get 60,000 people who may come to visit Cardiff, and it's a chance for us to engage with those people, for them to see our community at its best, for them to come to a fantastic event and enjoy themselves.
Sometimes it's a bit like, a bit sad that it's over, because it's a really interesting, for me anyway, it's a really interesting part of policing. It's very different to my day job, and I don't think anybody in my position would do it if they didn't enjoy it. You've got to be able to enjoy it to really get the best out of it.